right, today is Monday, November 9th, 2020. This is the Kubernetes CSI implementation meeting. I think the main topic for today is going to be 120. Code freeze is this Thursday. So let's go ahead and run through the items that we need to make by this Thursday. So let's skip some of these other items that are not in the Kubernetes core. Let's see, this first one, make CSI driver spec pod info on mount mutable. I think this is more of a nice to have capability. I think nothing is urgently needing this, so I will probably put this on the post code freeze review cycle. It probably won't make 120. I think this performance E2E test is also not critical for 120. Let's skip over that. Fixing this race condition between node and stage and delete volume. I think this is also a nice to have to fix in 120, but I don't think it's going to make it in time. This may also be a 121 item. Moving on to save volume data cleanup.
Yeah, so there is an open PR for this. Hamon's reviewed it, and it needs a little bit more work. I don't know if it's going to be finished before the code freeze.
Okay. No problem. I think if it's a small change, then it could be a candidate for backporting in a patch release. All right. Next up is checking if removing the check for mount points in cleanup orphan pod directories. I believe the original author has updated it this weekend, so we can take another look and see if this is good to make code freeze. Let's see, this one, ignore mount directory check in CSI node stage and publish. Jan, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I added a couple of fixes to end this PR. And you asked me to add some unit tests. So I am adding unit tests to CSI volume plugin. That seems to be possible. About the operator generator, this is going to be tricky.
Okay, I think that's fine. If you've already manually tested the operation generator stuff?
Not exactly. I didn't have a driver that fails after node expand or during node expand, actually. I will try to figure something out.
All right, cool. As long as like we have some sort of testing, I think that'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But so other than that, I think this is looking in good shape, so we should be able to make this. Next up is FS Group.
I saw your feedback from Friday afternoon. I'm working on trying to get those changes incorporated today, so it'll be ready for review later this evening / tomorrow morning. I'm still trying to target this one being ready for 120.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. And then SIG has a E2E PR out for the change policy. I've been reviewing it. I think this one should be close to being able to merge. Yeah, looks like he pushed something. Also the feature flip to beta is also as part of this PR. I think Hamad, do you have another API PR with the feature flip?
Yeah, I opened it and yeah, there's another PR I have for. I'll link it in this thing. Yeah, I think Jan took a look in the
Okay.
morning, and the main thing there is worth discussing is like I dropped the wording about the default because that's what like the Tim was suggesting actually. So we're not explicitly calling out what is the default, but but yeah, but basically it says that if not specified, it always applies the permission change. So yeah.
Okay. All right, sounds good. And for the time being, we still need to not default the field. And do you know if people are going to investigate the template hashing scheme at all?
Jordan has filed that issue under a long-term thing, so I don't think anybody is like right now with this release going to investigate on that one. So I can ping him again today, and but I can ask him to take a look at this one if this seems reasonable. And
Okay, sounds good. And then Hamad, have you had a chance to look at this PR for the E2E test?
Psychic Sphere,
Yeah.
yeah, he pinged me today morning. I will need to take a look.
Okay. Yeah, I think basically he's adding two test cases, one with the always mode and one with the um, on
On loop,
change mode.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, uh,
And he's enabling it for CSI drivers too. There's a test capability for FS group already. All right. And let's see, other than that, did the metrics change go in yet?
yeah, that
I've
man.
forgotten.
Yes.
Okay, it did merge. Okay, so we're good on the metrics. Cool. All right. I think that's it. And so I think we still have what, 3 PRs still remaining? The CSI driver change, the API wording change, and then the E2E tests. I think all of them seem to be nothing controversial, so we should be on track for being able to merge all these by code trees.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Awesome. Next up is volume snapshots.
Yeah, so I just changed this a little bit, just trying to break out like 2 buckets. One is things that we must merge before this Thursday, and others are things we must get it done before Snapshot GA, but not necessarily by this Thursday. So for this Thursday, so we have the stress test, right? So that's the scalability one that's merged, finalizer test merged. And then we've done some menu upgrade test. So myself and a few others tested the host path CSI driver. So that works. And then menu test also with the GCPD driver, that also works. So what are remaining, I think one is the metrics work that Grant is working on. I think his PR is almost, almost ready. I think there's just some small things. Sean Chen is going to take another look. He was out for a few days last week. So now one question we have is, let's say if we get this one merged, he has a E2E test, but then that one, doesn't really have any official image that we can use. So how are we going to do that? It's a chicken and egg problem again.
Which E2E test?
Oh, metrics. So metrics, this is like
Metrics.
yeah. So Grant submitted a work in progress E2E test, but then we don't really have an image that.
Oh, this is in Kubernetes.
Yeah, yeah. And then we can't really. And then for this one, is metrics is like a new feature, right? We can't really like cut a patch that's not right. So
Yeah.
I mean, can we just do some manual?
So I think,
testing? Like,
yeah.
okay.
So I think for now, because we have this chicken and egg problem, like I think if Grant in your work in progress PR, you just like use a dev image or something.
Yeah, but the
And
problem is, right now it's not that easy. I mean, I haven't figured out. I asked Grant to take a look also. Maybe we can pin you and you can help us figure out how, because I was trying to change that in the
okay.
image UTO. Maybe I didn't change the right place. Maybe we can pin you.
Yeah, there's like a couple places you need to change in order to add a new registry, allowable registry to the E2E. I can point you to those.
Okay, so maybe we can pin you maybe after the meeting. Yeah, so I do
Yeah.
have PR, have that. I was searching. I thought I found other places, but it looks like it's still not. Something must still be missing. It's not passing.
Okay.
So, okay.
Yeah, I can help with that.
Okay. So yeah.
But
So
I think as long as we can like, if we just push a dev image and then like in the work in progress PR, just like you can show that the tests are passing with the dev image, then I think that's fine.
okay. Okay. So that's that. So that's metrics. Yeah. So that's the top priority for today. And then after that, basically there are a few PRs. I think they are in good shape. It's just I think you're waiting for this like a metrics work before we can merge, or we can merge now. Do you think? What do you think? The basically the moving snapshot CRD to V1 that's in the external snapshotter.
Yeah, I think we should merge that. I was deferring to Saad to do the API review for it.
Yeah, but Saad is so busy because so you have already taken a look, right? You have already taken a look of the earlier PRs and you, Xiangqian also took a look of it. We don't have any schema change. So what else do you want to look? We're not really making any schema change.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think there's anything else to look for.
So,
I think just to do one more final just pass through.
Can you do it? Just like everything is kind of get a block back this one. Is it too many?
Yeah, the main thing is I'm currently trying to review all the FS group related stuff. So I that's why I defer to Saad to handle the snapshot stuff. But I'll first ping Saad today and see if he has time to take a look.
Okay. Can we defer that to? Can we also ask like Xiangqian if Saad does not have time? Can we ask Xiangqian to take a look, because it's really just making sure that the two API versions are, one is like both are served, one is stored, the other one is not. It's mainly because of that. Really just that, right? And there's nothing else.
Yeah.
The schema change, and then we also tested at least if you look at the PRs that are submitted, past tests, except for unit tests, that's because we manually did something. So unit test is not going to pass, but all the other tests passed, right? So I mean, what else are there that we actually really need to?
I don't think there's anything like super. There's nothing that's like blocking. I think it's just we need to just go through and do a final pass through and put a stamp on it. So I don't expect there to be any like major thing coming out of this.
And then this is also okay. So and then can we also talk about like a sequence, right? So this is like there are several PRs. It's not just one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, does Saad have time to review all of those?
I think the most important is going to be the merging the one that adds the new V1 API, but doesn't change any of the colors. I think that's the first step.
Right, and then there are also controller, and then there was the main thing that actually has to get merged by Thursday is this in-tree one, right? The one that I highlighted, move the feature gate to
Yeah,
G.
yeah.
That's the only thing that we have to get merged because everything else is auto tree. And there's really no direct relationship between them, actually. I mean, can you merge that one? I mean, Tim has already he has already approved it.
Yeah.
There's
So
really
I think one
nothing that
thing,
entry one
I
doesn't
think
have any changes really. It's just validation.
correct. It's just
right?
the entry one is sort of the final gatekeeper compared to the
Right.
rest, right? We don't flip it's the last thing we flip.
Right.
The main thing is, I guess, so maybe once we merge this change that adds the V1 APIs, maybe one thing to do is to have a work in progress PR that updates the CRDs that get installed in the cluster and then change the E2E test to use the CRDs,
I do
but
have
keep
a PR. I do have a PR.
keep the controller with the older version. So keep the controller on the 3.0 and that should still function.
Yeah,
So we want to test that. Yeah.
Should,
So I think that's actually something we can merge. We don't actually need to we don't need to actually change the official images.
Oh, can we do that? Oh, yes. Are you saying just without changing any images, only change the
CRDs to add the V1 API and then change the E2E test.
Okay.
And then change the E2E test to also use the V1 APIs.
Okay.
So that way we can test new users testing using the V1 APIs, but the controller has not been upgraded yet, and the controller is still serving the V1 beta.
Yeah. So this way we
which
don't
is fine.
Change images. Yeah, I can do that because the one that I submitted here and it was a work in progress. That one is actually I also changed the images, so I was having some problem getting those images registry.
Yeah. Maybe just try don't changing the images and just changing the API.
Okay.
And we can make sure that that whole SKU thing works too.
Okay, yeah, I can update that one. Yeah, maybe I will submit another one just for that. Okay, so those are the things that I think must merge by Thursday.
Okay.
So, do you agree? Those are the things
yeah.
merge by Thursday.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And
that sounds
okay,
good to
so
me.
then there are other things that I below this one I added other things that we need to do before GA, but not really necessarily by Thursday. So those are like we need to update release tools. We need to all of those external provisioner to use a new image, which I already have a PR. It's just the images are not the real one. And then and also there's this new one, the reload third thing for webhook. So so I have an idea on how to fix it. I just want to sync up with Shangqian and see if he's okay with that approach, and then we can find someone to work on that. But I think those can be done like after Thursday. This is the
that makes sense.
Yeah,
since it's
it's
only related to the sidecar.
Yeah, and then okay. Yeah, I think the rest of them are or like we can do like after Thursday. Yeah, mainly it's this Thursday. So maybe the first thing is to just to change the API entry CRDs. Maybe that would be the first one. Yeah, that would be good to try that out without all the images. Okay.
Yep, sounds good to me.
All right.
All right, I'll go ahead and ping Sot again to take a look at that API PR so that we can get moving on this.
So you're going to ping him on the controller one, right? Which one are you? Because the thing is,
no, I'm pinging him on the API one, the one that just adds the API.
Right. Yeah. No controller. That one, right?
Yeah.
On external snapshotter. Okay. Yeah, because the one that he reviewed earlier is the other PR. So I don't know which one he prefer to.
Okay.
He has some comments. I mean, but yeah, maybe yeah. I don't know. I don't know which way is easier.
Okay, I'll ping him and let him decide.
So,
but I think basically we can't we need to merge just the API part first,
Yeah, maybe
and
just,
then update
yeah.
the CI, and then we can update the controller.
Right.
Yeah, so I think like I think just for Thursday, I think just merging the API part is good enough.
Okay. So then maybe just ask me, just to avoid too many confusion, too many PRs, maybe just to show him the one that without a controller one. Maybe that's just, hopefully that's more forward. And then, so maybe just merge that one. And then the other one is the int with feature gate one, right? So those two, those are like a must have for Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. All
that
right.
sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. I guess all the other items, we're not targeting 120, but do folks want to give an update on them?
I don't have any new update for expansion. I pinged KK on Slack, and he was saying that he hasn't been able to work on anything related to Kubernetes for last month or so. So he took the task of like the PVC being deleted while research is pending. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to get this in. So we'll have to try next quarter.
Okay,
And,
sounds good. Was there anything else?
No, I was just about to say that yeah, we'll work on the designs for the remaining two, the allow volume expansion field, copying it to PV in this quarter. I'll try to get that in after the FS group thing lands and bit of a room. Yeah, I have
All right.
time.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any other updates or topics that anyone wants to discuss?
Just a short reminder for the generic ephemeral inline volumes and CSI ephemeral inline volumes, we will have that API meeting in half an hour. It will be on Google Meet because the Zoom meeting is taken by another regular meeting. And my hope is that we'll get clarification on the API question of how to move to beta, basically. And for CSI ephemeral volumes, who will take it to GA.
All right, sounds good.
I also have my pending PRs in external provisioner. It's not urgent because it doesn't need to be finished for 120, but some feedback would be welcome because for the local volume provisioning, that is something that I actually would like to implement in PMM CSI this quarter, either with an updated external provisioner or by temporarily forking it. So I basically need to know which way to go to finish that in this quarter.
All right,
And
yeah, it sounds good.
It might just be that it's too early anyway, but then I need to start working on my plan B.
Yeah, sounds good. Probably at least for the next few days, I think most of us are going to be busy with reviewing the 120, the code freeze items, but I think the later half this week should be more freed up.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Any other topics?
Just a question. You wanted to ask SIG scalability about running more scale tests about volume provisioning. Have you started that, or shall I do that on this Thursday's meeting? I've put basically some topics into the regular SIG storage meeting agenda, and one of them is doing more scale testing.
I pinged SIG scalability on Slack. They did not really respond. I think one person on test infra responded and said they don't yet have capacity planning for large clusters, at least from a test infra point of view. But I think it's the current system. I think I'm a little confused because they're talking about moving scalability's tests over to the Kubernetes infra. I guess currently the current scalability tests are not running on top of the the Kubernetes test infra thing, which I guess is confusing. But I think it might be worth actually going to like the SIG scalability meeting and bringing it up with them.
Okay, I'll do that.
I think from the
Thursday.
storage side, I think what you're gonna hear is, yes, that sounds like a great idea, but since we don't own infrastructure for it, we need to work with SIG scalability to get access to the infrastructure.
Yeah, no, I was specifically thinking of that SIG scalability, and I'll just ask them. I also have a few architectural and proposals basically, and I'll try to get their opinion. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Any other topics? All right, then we'll end for today. Thanks, everyone.